Supreme Chancellor Obi-Wan Kenobi by Stone Freak. Chapter 40. Anakin visits Palpatine.
Ah, Anakin, my boy. Welcome.
Palpatine comes toward Anakin with open arms. It's good to see him, Anakin thinks, especially since he looks in better spirits than the last time they met. Perhaps the investigation finished and found him cleared of wrongdoing?
Mr. Palpatine, it's good to see you.
Anakin says with a smile. He, Rex, and Ahsoka are heading out again soon, so he really wants to see as many of his friends as possible during this downtime. He can't wait to tell Palpatine the good news, that he and Obi-Wan have talked and really made up. The man has been like a mentor to him since he was a child. Surely he'll be happy for Anakin's sake.
Likewise, my friend. Come, I have some biscuits in the sitting room. Would you like some? Or perhaps a cup of tea? Or coffee?
Palpatine says and motions towards one of the many doors in the hall. Looking around, Anakin realizes that Palpatine's apartment looks a lot like the Chancellor's offices. Well, before Obi-Wan redecorated, at least. Oh yeah, Palpatine asked the question.
Calf would be good, thank you.
Anakin scratches his head and follows Palpatine into the lounge, where a spread of many types of biscuits are laid out on a table surrounded by soft-looking couches. The couches are, in fact, even softer than they look. Anakin only barely refrains from sighing in contentment when he sits down. When Palpatine sits down on the couch on the opposite side of the table, Anakin gives him a smile.
How have you been, Sir?
Anakin mentally curses himself for his second slip-up in just a few minutes. He's been calling Palpatine Chancellor since he was a child. It's a hard habit to break.
I've been well, Anakin. Of course, I wish they would finish the investigation already, but since Master Kenobi took on the role of Chancellor, I've really had more time to relax. I'm an old man, it does me good, I'd say.
Yeah, that makes sense. The investigation might not be finished yet, but Palpatine has always said that the extra powers and all the work from the war has been weary.
I'm glad to hear you've had a chance to rest, sir.
Now, if only Obi-Wan could too. By way of an end to the war, things would be great.
As am I.
Palpatine accepts a cup of something from a droid before it moves over to Anakin and offers him a hot cup of caf. They both drink and a silence descends over the table. The only things Anakin can hear is vague traffic sounds from outside and Palpatine's droid moving around, doing something or other.
I went to see Master Kenobi the other day, actually.
Palpatine says suddenly, breaking the quiet.
What? Anakin almost drops his cup. You did.
He's always been under the impression that Palpatine and Obi-Wan
don't really get along.
Weird.
Oh, yes. I believe it's important that I show that I harbor no ill feelings toward him because of the investigation.
Palpatine calmly takes another sip of whatever is in his cup.
After all, Master Kenobi is only thinking about the good of the Republic, I'm sure.
Yeah, between you and me, I think Master would be way happier if he'd never been made Chancellor at all.
Anakin is so glad that he knows that now, that they talked. Obi-Wan trusted him with his feelings and hopes for the future. There's a part of Anakin that just glows with the knowledge.
I see.
There's an odd expression on Palpatine's face.
Sir?
Anakin frowns, his fingers tightening on his cup of caf.
Oh, my. Sorry, my boy, it's just that last time we talked, I remember you questioning whether or not perhaps Master Kenobi wanted the power. This sudden change was simply a bit of a surprise.
Oh.
Anakin relaxes again.
Yeah, Obi-Wan and I had a talk. I was really upset and got angry with him, and, well, we had a really good talk.
He looks down in his cup and smiles.
I feel like we're closer than we've been in years.
I see. I'm glad to hear it, my boy. The distance between you and Master Kenobi has always been a worry of mine. I know he's very important to you, so the way he keeps you at arm's reach has always... Well, like I said, I've been worried.
This is why Anakin trusts Palpatine. He cares so much, and he's so open about it. And he's right, Obi-Wan has kept Anakin at bay and created distance between them. Anakin's just glad that's over with now. Surely Obi-Wan knows better now.
Yeah, I'm really glad he's letting me in.
But I must ask you, my young friend. You said you were upset. Tell me, what were you upset about?
Soft, cajoling words. So familiar. Anakin opens his mouth to tell Palpatine about Elay's discoveries, but freezes before the words leave his mouth.
What I want to tell you is simply that you can't tell anyone. And I mean anyone. It's paramount that it remain a secret. For my sake, Anakin, please. No one. Please, Anakin.
He promised Obi-Wan. He can't. He can't tell Palpatine. It hurts because he trusts Palpatine. But the droid is still nearby, and there could be an aide he hasn't seen. He just can't. I'm sorry, Mr. Palpatine.
Well, it was about how I didn't know if he wanted the power or not. And I haven't been sure Obi-Wan cares about me for a long time. So it all just kinda came to a head, you know?
He's a terrible liar, but this isn't a lie. It's true. It's just not the whole truth. He'll apologize properly to Palpatine later when the investigation is finished. He'll understand. Anakin is sure of it.
I see. I'm glad it wasn't something else.
Palpatine smiles that kind smile, the one that bunches the wrinkles around his eyes and mouth.
Yeah, nothing else. And we've got that sorted out now, so I'm feeling a lot better. You don't have to worry about me, sir.
The smile on Anakin's face feels slightly forced. He hates lying to someone he cares about, but he promised. Palpatine nods and takes a long sip from his cup.
I go shipping out soon. I was hoping to perhaps see you again before you do. We see each other so rarely, my friend.
Anakin is so really about to change the topic, he almost slumps in his seat.
Yeah, I'm shipping out in 3 days, actually. Me, Ahsoka, and Rex. So I don't think I'll have time, unfortunately. I have to prep.
I see. That is a shame, my boy. Do send my regards to Padawan Tano.
I will, sir. I'm sure she'll appreciate the thought.
So, Kenobi has started to mend his relationship with young Skywalker, has he? No matter. It means nothing more than that the deadline for his death will move up. But since Skywalker is leaving Coruscant in 3 days... Palpatine laughs and takes a sip of his Garillian brandy. Loose lips sink ships. That Skywalker trusts him so much is truly a gift. All of this would be a lot harder to fabricate if he didn't know so much about Kenobi through his former Padawan stories and through the information the young man is willing to give him if he just asks. Of course, it's a trait he will have to get rid of once Skywalker finally takes his place as Palpatine's apprentice. But for now, it's so very useful. He's planted the idea that he harbors no ill will toward Kenobi in Skywalker. That will most likely go a long way once the man meets his final end. Oh, it will be less than he deserves, unfortunately, but it will still be sweet to have his presence wiped away from the galaxy. So he will never have the pleasure of feeling Kenobi's throat convulse beneath his hands, feel him claw at them in a feeble attempt to regain the ability to breathe, watch his eyes roll back into his head. No, he will never feel Kenobi die at his hand, as is his due. While he should have everything he wants, it's simply too risky. If he could wait to set it up, he would, but Kenobi simply cannot be allowed to live any longer.